7, so we haven't gotten into like
Do you love waking up early in the morning, struggling to figure out what to do with your hair? We've all had our share of bad hair days. Are you ready for a change? Lock it and love it with Lock and Love Salon, conveniently located at 8117 Liberty Road, Windsor Mills, Maryland. Start your lock journey today. Lock and Love's professional services and artistic designs will keep you blazing in the hottest trends while maintaining and protecting your hair. Honey, Lock and Love is an experience. Once you try Lock and Love Salon, you won't try anyone else. Lock and Love offers starter and maintenance locks, fox locks, detox, shampooing and conditioning, lock treatment, lock extension, coloring, and much more. Sorry, but Lock and Love doesn't accept walk-ins. What are you waiting for? Call 410-970-3791 to set up your appointment today. Lock and Love is on Facebook, so remember to like, follow, and share.
good morning, good morning, good morning, y'all. My co-host is under the weather today, but we're definitely keeping her in our prayers. This morning we had Miss Thomas. She's going to be my co-host today for a little bit, and she's going to introduce herself, and then we're going to talk about how important it is for everybody to have insurance, life insurance.
So I'm live. Y'all can hear
Yeah,
me?
yeah.
All right. Okay. All right, guys. So good morning. My name is Janine Thomas. I am a regional vice president with my company. I've got introduced on the business side to life insurance back in 2015. However, I've known about life insurance since I was 26 years old. This guy came to my house. My mom had passed away when I was 12. And he came to the house to let me know that I was of age and the insurance that my aunt had on me wasn't, active anymore. I needed to be able to get some. And, I had, that's when I was starting a family. So I was introduced very, very long before I got introduced on the business side. And literally, I just came in just to make a little bit of extra money. But when I got here, Tameka, I actually got educated on the importance of why life insurance is important and why we need to have it, not just for burial, but actually being able to put some things in place for the people that we are financially responsible for. Like I said, I've been doing it since 2015. So for the past 11 years, literally, it's just about educating families. One of the things, Tameka, that I've ran into is that, and this is the crazy thing, and don't laugh when I say this, we're mandated by the state of Maryland to have car insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And it's for a car that can be replaced if it gets damaged in an accident, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, we're not mandated by anybody, the state, the federal government, to have life insurance for a life that can't be replaced. And
Right.
I think there's no value on the importance of it because people don't really understand what it can do, the
Okay.
impact that we can have in regards to putting money back into the community. I think that if it was talked about more and
Mm-hmm.
really understood, I was brand new in the business. And 2 months after I passed my life exam, we lost my father. And had we not got introduced 4 years before that, we wouldn't have had the insurance on my dad. Because what's
Mm-hmm.
one of the first things that's let go when life is happening? And because life is going to happen, right,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, because it
Mm-hmm.
says rains on the just and the unjust, right? So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I realized the importance of what we did for families at that moment. Because in the beginning, I was like, I'm not a salesperson. I don't talk to people.
Right.
However, I've been in retail all my life. I've always been in some type of customer service. However, I
Mm-hmm.
just didn't understand.
Right.
So being 11 years in, understanding how it works and the importance of it, I just believe with all that's in me, we just got to go out and talk to the people
Yeah.
because a lot of times it's I think it costs too much, or
Mm-hmm.
oh, well, I don't like this kind, or I don't like this kind. How about get educated on both
Yeah.
kinds and then make an
Yeah.
educated decision based
Right.
on your situation? And I think
That's
that's really where
yeah.
the breakdown comes
Mm-hmm.
in at. So my total focus is really just to be able to help some families. And like I said, we do things complimentary when it comes to quotes. So we can always give a quote, take a look at what you have, make sure what
Mm-hmm.
you have is
Is the
correct
right.
for you and your
Mm-hmm.
family, especially at this time, with the way the
Yeah.
economy is. You
Yeah.
definitely don't want to be throwing money away, but definitely putting value on what it is that I do, when we
Mm-hmm.
sit down for family. So, you got any
Yeah.
questions you want to ask me?
Well, I think a lot of people really don't understand the life insurance thing. I think that's what it is. And like you said, if you don't get educated about it, you won't know.
Right.
And then the next thing you know, you got to do a GoFundMe or you asking, people to help bury your loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that that's a big thing because like for me, when my kids was first born, my mother put them on our life insurance policy. Well, her life insurance policy that
Mm-hmm.
she had for the kids or whatever. So it was like for me, it was just like, okay, she got it. Why do I have to get it? Because I wasn't educated.
Correct.
And so then I had got it for my kids, but then like you said, life was life. And then that's the
Mm-hmm.
first thing that, you let go because you like, I really honestly don't have it. But then in my mind, it's like, okay, well, my mother still have, life insurance for the kids. So we'll be good or whatever. But then when Sean was murdered, I didn't have life insurance on Sean, but my mom did.
Gotcha.
So my mom gave me she had gave me the policies once they was paid off because she had, I don't know if it was Gerber or whatever it was, but after a certain amount of time it was paid off.
Mm-hmm.
So she I guess transferred them to me. So I was able to use that to bury Sean, but
Mm-hmm.
he was Muslim, so their funerals is not expensive as other people funerals. And so the policy that we had actually covered his entire funeral. But I know working with or going with certain people down to funeral homes and stuff like that, like the funerals nowadays in 2026 is definitely expensive than it was 8 years ago.
Yep, you're absolutely right. And here's the thing. It's truly about the replacing of an income depending on who the person is that passes away.
Hmm.
But you did say something valuable because I hear a lot of grown adults talk about what my mom has on me. And what we do as parents is we actually make sure that we don't have to do a GoFundMe, right?
Hmm.
We make sure that we don't have to beg, borrow, steal, whatever we have to do a cook fry. We just make sure there's enough put in place for that. But what we
Hmm.
don't necessarily do is properly protect your income. God forbid something happens.
Yes.
So mama and them, they did exactly what they were supposed to do because they protected us to make sure
Hmm.
that that was taken care of. But if
Right.
we need to take it a step further in the era that we're in, actually putting something in place that
Hmm.
actually makes sure that whatever that income was I'm bringing in when I'm gone, my family doesn't have to relocate, they don't have to downsize, they don't have to work 2 and 3 jobs because there was something in place. I'll never
Hmm.
forget, Tameka, back in 2020, one night, two people passed away at the same time, like literally in moments. We got the news, right? My
Hmm.
sister called me and she said, I got my first death claim, not
Okay.
knowing that it was actually another one coming in, which was her son. Now,
Wow.
had she not got into the business that we're in and actually got properly protected him for his future
Hmm.
self, right?
Hmm.
She wouldn't have been able to take off for the 2 years because she wasn't mentally ready to go back to work
Yeah.
because nobody can really
Yeah.
tell you what your
Hmm.
grieving process is,
We
right?
just talked about that
Right.
last show. Yeah.
Nobody
Hmm.
can tell you how long your grieving process is.
Hmm.
And if you think about it, the job only gives us 2, maybe 3, sometimes a week when it comes to that, right? However, when it's time for you to go back to work and you gotta pick yourself up, who can
Hmm.
tell you when that is?
Right.
But if you know that you had enough insurance, you can actually grieve a little bit different.
Mm.
So mama can definitely have coverage on you, but now you have
Mm-hmm.
children. So
Right.
you are technically financially responsible for them. And kids need
Absolutely.
insurance just like adults need insurance. Because
Yes.
come on now, let's think about it. In the era that we in,
Mm-hmm.
people are dropping at all ages.
Yeah.
And we just gotta make sure that the conversation is had so that
I think
people
that's
will
good.
know that's
Yeah.
where the lack is.
The
That's where the lack is.
education,
Yeah.
right? The education of it. So I know you were saying it's different insurances. Explain the two or how many other insurances that you're able to have. I know for me, I know that it's term and it's what is that one? Life? Is it
Whole
life
life.
in term? Whole
Mhm.
life in term. Okay. Is there any other ones?
Well, whole life is kind of designed into different ones. You may hear them
Okay.
introduced by so many different things, right? You
Okay.
may hear universal life. You're going to hear IUL, which is the new thing that everybody's talking about, being able to be your own bank, right? I
Yes.
would just say this, okay? At the end of the day, you need to know the difference in the two and what they can do for you. Okay.
Okay.
Because there are some people that may can't get one or the other. So you do need to know what the other one does. So just to kind of give you a brief overview, right? I'll give you a quick
Okay.
comparison of the difference of whole life versus term. Let's talk about the cost
Okay.
first, right? With the
Okay.
era that we're in right now, everybody would like to save $1, right? But let's talk about the cost. Whole life
Okay.
is a product that costs more than term. So when you think of the
Okay.
difference in regards to cost, term is cheaper, whole life is more. So on a whole life policy, you're going to pay more and you're going to get less coverage. On
Okay.
the term side, you're going to pay less and you're going to get more coverage. And then, of
Okay.
course, keep in mind this is all age based too, because of course,
Mm-hmm.
the younger you are, the more insurance that you can get, right? So
Okay.
we got to keep that in mind as well. And then when you think about it in a whole life policy, you actually are paying for two products. You're
Okay.
paying for your cash value, which most people love to hear that you can borrow from it, right? And I'll get
Mm-hmm.
into that a little later. And
Okay.
then you're paying for the life insurance. So that's
Okay.
two things. However, what's not typically talked about is how when you pass away, your family don't get both products that you
Okay.
paid for. Okay.
Oh
So
wow.
you follow
Okay.
me so far. Now, in a
Mm-hmm.
term policy, there is no cash value. There's
Okay.
no savings in that. You're just paying for life insurance. The part that
Okay.
people say, well, I don't want term because term runs out. Well, it's for a specific period of time.
Okay.
And at times in our life, and we call this the theory of decreasing responsibility. In my younger years, I am going to
Mm-hmm.
need more life insurance because financially, people are, I am responsible for other people. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, in being responsible for other people, Tameka, I'm going to need my income to be replaced for years because my kids may be young. Like I said,
Right.
my mom passed away when I was 12. But what I can
Okay.
tell you is that there was not enough life insurance in place that at age 18, we had a trust fund.
Right.
That's something that we got to fix, right?
Okay.
However, yeah, she got buried. I'm pretty sure there was something,
Right.
but was it enough to make sure that her kids that were left behind, which was 3, 12, 10,
Mm.
and 7, was it enough money in place to take care of them?
I don't think people think like that. And like
They
you said,
don't.
I don't think that they're educated to think like that because
Mm-hmm.
I never looked at it like that. I know, like I said, I knew that, mommy had it. I knew she had insurance for the kids. I knew that. So
Mm-hmm.
I knew if something happened, I knew that we would be taken care of.
Right.
But at the same time, a lot of people don't understand why it's important to have life insurance at the end of the day. We all need it. And today I'm gonna call and get my family situated. Because like I said, life was life and sometimes you like, let me just let that go for a little bit. But thank
Mm-hmm.
God that nothing have happened to us that I need to be able to get or go out and ask or go out and beg or go out and try to do something for a GoFundMe.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, when you
You're
know
right.
better, you do better.
That
So
part right
the
there.
to know the different parts, the different insurances and how it all works. And so you were saying that if you get term, you pay more. but you get
Here,
less coverage. Or
no,
no,
so
I'm sorry, it's
term,
whole life.
absolutely right.
Okay.
Right. So term is for a specific period, like I was saying, right? And at
Mm-hmm.
my company, we give you 3 options as to
Okay.
how to be able to, when you get to your end of your term, you get
Mm-hmm.
to evaluate your life at that moment. So for
Okay.
instance, I'll be 52, I'll be 52 in May.
Okay.
Financially responsible, we have 2 left, but one's in
Mm-hmm.
college. So we
Okay.
technically have one that's under
Mm-hmm.
18 that the
Okay.
loss, God forbid something happens to me or my husband, is going to be devastating. So there needs to be something in place for our
Mm-hmm.
young one,
Right.
correct? Which you said most people don't think about. Because let's tell the truth, shame the devil. At the end of the day, people are gonna do what they gotta do to take care of whoever gets put on them. But wouldn't it be a lot better and a lot different if there was a check that came with those kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, that's an extra mouth to feed, to clothe. More lights are going to be used. I mean, let's just
Mm-hmm.
be real, but we don't
Yeah.
think about that aspect. We just go and pick up and keep going. You know why? Because we didn't miss a beat when my mom died.
Right.
Let's keep the record straight. We didn't miss a beat. We
Okay.
had the best of the best.
Mm-hmm.
However, wouldn't it have made life a lot different if there was a check that
Mm-hmm.
came with us to be able
Yeah.
to help you? Because now
Mm-hmm.
you're taking on somebody else's, but money is still needed, right? But
Yeah.
here's the thing. So when we talk about that, right? We talked about the difference between the two in regards to cost. We talked about the difference in the two where you paying for 2 products, you only get one in the whole life. And then
Mm-hmm.
the other thing that we also said was the thing about it is when you pass away, your family don't get that cash value. How do you feel about that? Right. But then
Okay.
also think about this, Tameka. If we're talking about
Mm-hmm.
putting away money in a life insurance policy for you to borrow. Okay,
Okay.
let's think about that. If I put it there, why do I have
Mm-hmm.
to borrow my own money? Okay, that's
Okay.
and problem number one. The second thing is, how do you feel about borrowing your own money and paying it
Mm-hmm.
back with what? Interest, because that's what we do when we borrow something. You're supposed to
Yeah.
pay it back with interest. So I put my money
Right.
there. Now I got to borrow with interest. And if I don't pay it back, here's the catcher. If I never pay that back, now it's decreased from my death benefit. So my
Mm-hmm.
family still don't get all the money. And most people don't find that out till their loved one is gone.
After. Yeah, so
Till
I would say
after.
right there it's kind of sort of like a setup. Kinda. because at that because like some people are responsible and some people are not. So if you tell me, hey, get this policy and you could borrow against it, and you're not educated on how it works, like you said, it decreases when it comes down to that funeral and
Mhm.
when it comes down to getting something afterwards. So it is something to look at, some to talk about. Like you said, term. My mother had got, I believe, like back in the day, it was like term because it was $5,000. Once they hit a certain age, it was paid off. So, like I said, she had insurance on sure. I had insurance too, but like I said, life was life it, and I just was like, all right, mommy got it. But that is now sitting and thinking about it, it was irresponsible for me to, leave everything to mom. But
Mhm.
I was just grateful and thankful that she was like here, because what a lot of people don't know, when you get insurance on people, that person don't have to give you anything if something happened to a loved one. That we speaking the truth, because
Yeah,
I
that is
didn't
the truth.
seen it, I didn't heard it. Oh, I got insurance, but I'm gonna wait and let's see what they do before I
Mhm.
give up my policy.
That is true. And we
Yeah.
literally had that happen to where a parent may not have had it, but the then spouse
Mm-hmm.
actually had it and could have went a different way. However, it did go the correct way where the spouse took care of it. But
Mm-hmm.
here's the thing. Whose responsibility technically was it? So grateful that she was in a position to be able to step in there and not have that go that
Yeah.
way. But
Yeah.
but this is the other thing, because when we talk about educated, I'm talking about being educated on both sides, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you need to know what happens at the end of the term, and you need to be prepared for that, right?
Okay.
But also taking a look at what else can you put in place. So I not only do the term insurance, but I do the
Mm-hmm.
investment so that you can self-insure yourself on the other
Okay.
side of that term for when you do live too long. Because the
Okay.
life insurance is there for if you die too soon. But what happens if you live too long? What happens if you
Oh,
live past
wow.
the 30, 35 years, right?
Okay.
And then because if you wasn't educated about it, and now I get to my end of your term. That's why
Mm-hmm.
people are upset. So what we
Okay.
gotta do is we gotta put ourselves in a educational mode to really be
Mm-hmm.
able to get educated on it, to be able to say, you know what, this product works better and I'm gonna go this route versus what
Okay.
they did in the past. Let me go
Mm-hmm.
ahead and just do what they did, not knowing. And then we get loyal to a company and
Mm-hmm.
not to our family, saying, I had this for so long.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. I don't want to change, but change is good,
I don't like
especially when
new.
it
Right.
changes for the better.
Yeah.
Because if it makes sense, it make
Mm-hmm.
what? It makes dollars.
Yeah.
So really just sitting down and get educated on both, I believe is what needs to happen. And then you have
Mm-hmm.
to make an educated decision based on your situation at the end of the
Yeah.
day. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I remember when that man came to our house at 26, me and my husband, we got it. It was a whole life policy. And we only had 150,000. We paid $126. But like you said, life. And what happened 3 years later? That life, we didn't have insurance anymore. But when the other agent came back, guess what he offered us? He offered us term and gave us 350,000
Okay.
from the same company, but he
Okay.
offered us term because he knew we couldn't afford the whole life. We had
Mm-hmm.
350,000, 20,000 on our children. We paid $76 a month. Do you think I was asking him, was it whole or term or what?
Right.
No,
You just wanted it
we
in
needed
place just in
insurance
case.
and we
Yeah.
needed
Yeah.
something that was affordable and
Right.
understanding that it was enough in place to replace our income. That's the part that I'm talking about. But the one thing that he didn't do, because it wasn't for the company that I'm with now, he
Mm-hmm.
never talked to us about at the end what happens at the end of the term.
Okay.
He never talked to us about that. He gave us a
Okay.
20-year term, which is cheaper than the 30, 35 year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the shorter the year, the shorter it is. The shorter
Okay.
the year, the cheaper the price. He
Okay.
never talked to us about what happens at 20 years. Why? Because
Okay.
then he can come back in 20 years because we still
And
going to
get
be
more.
pretty young, praying we healthy. And he can just write up another policy and get paid again.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. Tell the truth, shame the devil. But he
Uh-huh.
didn't educate us on, okay, we need to put something in place so that when you guys do get to the end of the term, this is what
Mm-hmm.
your options are. And that's all
Okay.
I want to do is I want to be able to sit down with families and really talk to them and do a comparison, right?
Mm-hmm.
Educate them on what it is that they have. And then you can make an educated decision
Right. So
based
sometimes
on your
what
situation.
right. So what happens after the term? What
Okay. So
happens?
with
So if I
us,
get a 20-year term and I
mhm,
live past the 20 years, so where do the money go that I'm
ah,
paying into the insurance?
that's a good question. So the thing is, see how you just asked me that question, but what we don't
Mm-hmm.
do is we don't ask that question with the car insurance and the mortgage insurance, even the
Right.
cell phone insurance. We may
Mm-hmm.
never call in a claim. We never ask those questions when it comes to those insurances. However, we think about it on the life insurance side. Now think
Okay.
about that. Okay. I've been driving since I was 16. So you kind of can do the math. Y'all do the math out there, right? On how
Mm-hmm.
long I've been driving. And I never once said, well, what happened on the times that
Right.
I never had a car accident? We never asked that
I
question.
asked. I asked
Never
all the time.
because
I
what does
asked.
happen with the money? It insured
Right.
you for the time that you were here, for the
Okay.
time that you had it. Think about the different carriers that you've had previously over the years.
Mm-hmm.
You don't go back and say, well, I never had an accident. Where my
Where
money?
my money
No.
at? Right.
So insurance is there in case of the risk
Okay.
of dying or the car accident, right? And it just pays for that. But you don't get any money back unless something dies. Either
Okay.
the car, no, it's not replaceable, right? Or your
Mm.
life, which definitely can't be replaced. So that's the only time it's technically supposed to pay out. Okay.
Okay.
Right. Now, at the end of the term with us, because again, I can't speak for other companies, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, at the end of the term, we offer you three things. You can continue your coverage, but if you do, it's going to be based on your age at that time. So
Okay.
when you did it 20 years ago, you were younger. So you already know it's going to cost more, right?
Okay.
The other thing is you can decrease your coverage based on your life situation at that time. So again,
Okay.
20 years later, my kids are grown, my debt is low, my mortgage may be paid off. I don't really need as much insurance as I did 20 years ago. Again, putting
Okay.
you in control. That's what term does. It puts you in control of your life. Today I need it. Tomorrow I may not need as much. I still need it, but I may not need as much. So you follow me?
Mm-hmm.
And then the other option is you can convert to another product if you qualify, meaning
Okay.
that there may be another product that you can qualify for that's going to be cheaper than you just continuing it because it's a newer product. So with
Okay.
those three options, you can make an educated decision to be able to say, hey, let's do option one. Oh no, let's do
Mm-hmm.
option two because I may not need it. Or let's see if I qualify for option three. Keeping in mind that if you took advantage of the buy term invest the difference, excuse me, you will be able to say, well, I got this savings over here in this mutual fund that I don't even really need insurance because I'm sitting on money.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're educated, we can actually have enough money outside of the insurance that if you need to withdraw, notice I said withdraw and not borrow, you can take that money out and it's yours. You don't
Yeah.
have to put it back because it's
Okay.
yours. And it's not a product inside of your life insurance, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Two
Yeah.
separate products, two
It
separate
makes sense.
payments. One has nothing to do with the other, and they both have a
Mm-hmm.
beneficiary. That's the
And
main
see, it
thing.
wasn't never like it. That wasn't never explained to me like that
I
at
know.
all. And just to hear it plain, like I'm the type of person I need to hear it and see it. Like if I hear it and see it, I understand it better. But it never was it never was put in place like that. My mother used to have the same insurance man that used to come to our house, pick up the money, pick up, had the little booklets and all that other stuff. So it was like, all right, well, I'll just go with him. Like you said, it was kind of familiar. So I'll
It
just
was
go with him.
familiar.
But it was come here, sign this. Your money is due at this date, and that was it. It never was explained like that. This is the first time that I ever heard anyone explain it like that. And I done had a couple different insurance policy agents, a lot, but it never was explained like that. And I never thought to ask the question. It was always, I think for me, it was always on my mind that I need to get it just in case something happens. So where do I sign?
So
It
where do I
wasn't, oh,
sign?
let me get educated so I know what to get, so I know what my family had. That wasn't never the thing. It was like, I need it. I don't want to do a GoFundMe. So where do I sign?
Mhm.
So that was a good answer to the question. And it was
Yep.
broke down real good.
Listen, that's what we do. We break it down for you because we definitely understand that a lot of people are just selling, and we
Mm-hmm.
don't want to sell. We actually want to educate. We
Okay.
want to
And
educate,
that's
and
good because a
we
lot of
want to
people
educate.
just want the money. They
No.
would rather I'm gonna go and I'm gonna tell you this is what you're gonna get, but they are never sometimes not truthful in everything. Like the way you
Mhm.
broke it down, that was truthful. Look, this is what you need, this is what you're gonna get. And if you don't understand, I'm here to X, I'm gonna answer any questions. A lot of people sometimes, and it's said that you have to say it, but it's true. A lot of people are in it for the money and they're not in it to help. They're in it just to, get a raise or, get a status on where they at and leave the other people behind. So if I go somewhere and I'm like, well, this is what I thought I had, you go to the funeral home, this is what I thought I had. They like, no, you actually don't have enough for nothing.
That
But
is
you
true.
sitting there like, I've been paying every single month. So I'm kind of sort of lost. But for you to come and you break it down like that and you educate people on what you think they should get, and then they ask. I mean, it's always good to ask questions because my mother always said no question is a dumb question. So
Absolutely.
even if I asked if I could change my payment or if I could change my date, that's not a dumb question. If you need to change it, you need to ask and you need to talk to someone. That's when I'm honestly learning a lot since I could say for 8 years I've been kind of sort of we had like this our third episode, but myself and Tabitha had lost children. She lost her daughter, it'll be 5 years in August, and I
Mhm.
lost Sean 8 years, and it was 8 years in February.
Right.
And to like I said, mommy had the policy. I
Right.
didn't.
Right. Right. Right.
I appreciate mommy, but
Right.
what I do want to do moving forward is make sure that my kids and make sure that my grandkids are, okay if something ever happened to me. And like I said, today I definitely will be calling you to set up insurance because just to hear you talk today kind of sort of gave me chills. It was just like, this is important.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you hear this every day. Y'all should have life insurance. Commercials come up. Y'all should get life. Make sure you have the right life insurance.
Yeah.
Nobody ever pays attention to the commercials until it's that time when you lose a loved one or somebody asking you, do you have a couple $100 to help to bury their loved one because
Mm-hmm.
they can't afford to do it.
Yeah.
And just to hear somebody being honest about everything, not just asking for a dollar or not just wanting you to come in and be like, I'm gonna set you up with this and I just need you to sign it. That's why I said for me, before it was, I know I needed it, I don't care what it is, I'm just gonna sign it.
Right.
But then it gets to the point where you can't even afford it because you didn't ask questions.
Because you didn't ask questions. You're right. And here's the other thing that I want to kind of point out too as well. We have a child rider in
Mm-hmm.
place that your children under 18, no matter how many it is, are able to actually ride on your policy as a rider. And again, it could be 5 of them, but it's one cost. It's not all
Mm-hmm.
these separate policies and oh, you get this one on this on that one and you get this on that one. Because I've even seen where people have came to us with policies where there was more coverage on the child than the parent. And that's wrong because
Okay.
who's taking care of who? Because remember, we're talking about replacing an income. The
Mm-hmm.
child doesn't have any income. So I
Right.
need coverage on the child, but I need to have more on me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would love to sit down with any of your viewers and do a complimentary policy review just to be able to educate them on what they have, take a
Mm-hmm.
look at their policies, read through them so that I
Mm-hmm.
can be able to show them, look, this is here in black and
Yeah.
white. But again, we never open it. We never really get to the education, or I might have did it with my cousin and them, but
Mm-hmm.
really sit down and educate you. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Because if
Yes.
I give you the necessary tools, I believe with all that's in me, if I do right by you, Tameka, you'll
Mm-hmm.
feel good about me. You'll feel good
Yeah.
about the product, and you're going to refer me to your family and friends ultimately because I did you a good service. Like you said,
Absolutely.
you never heard of it this way because nobody really sits down and break it down that way.
Right.
But it needs to be broken down that way because at the end of the day, this is somebody's family.
Mm-hmm.
And you have 24-hour access to me and my agents. Why? Because you have our cell phone number. We don't work a 9 to 5. You don't have to wait till Monday at 9 to be able to give us a call. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a little more personal
Right.
than your 9 to 5 people. You gotta wait, you get a customer service agent. No, you
Mm-hmm.
can call the office or you can call my cell phone. Either
Right.
way, I'm gonna reach back out to you to find out exactly what it was that you wanted because at the end of the day, it's about you and your family
Right.
and doing right by
Absolutely.
you and your family. Because at the end of the day, especially for me and you, I'm gonna see you again. So
Yes.
I can't do you wrong because you gonna
Right.
see me.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So my
Yeah.
integrity goes a lot further than just selling a product. And that's the part that people,
Yeah.
the soul
Mm-hmm.
may not be there.
Miss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's how it is with products, period. That's why when I do my stuff or when I do all of my stuff that I do, my crafts that I do, I always put my heart and soul in it because I want it to look like something that I would want to have. And
Right.
to talk to somebody and explain to them, everything that's going on and be able to make sure that they understand before they
Mm-hmm.
sign on the dotted line. Because like
Understand
I
first.
said, that's how it was for me. It was like, okay, I need to, where do I sign? I don't care like what it say. Like I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
even tell you if it had any type of clause or anything in there. It
Right.
was just like
Yeah.
I signed it. I don't this is what I need.
Yeah.
So if anything would have happened, I wouldn't even known because I wasn't educated about it.
Right.
That's the crazy part about it, and that I'm grateful to be around people that understand that if you educate me about something, it'll help both of us out. Because I could say, oh yeah, she explained everything. Let me just let me give you her number so she can explain it to you better than I can explain it to you.
Yeah.
Because the way that she explained it, I never heard it like that before.
Yeah.
Never heard it like that before.
Yeah, I would love to definitely talk to anybody offline to be able that has any questions or that may still be a little confused. Again, like I said, the policy reviews are complimentary. you can definitely reach out to me, and we can definitely schedule something that's a lot more convenient for you. And I have no problem explaining the both.
Yeah,
What
and
I
her phone
offer
number
and
is
what
right
somebody
there at the
else.
bottom.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my phone
you
number
can
is
tell them
there
your
as
phone number.
well. You can also find me on your social media platforms. I have Instagram and I have Facebook as well.
What's your Facebook?
My Facebook is my name,
Okay.
and I have to look up my Instagram, Lord
Oh.
Jesus. But yeah, my, listen, it's tough, right? Let me see.
Right.
Let me see how to find my name.
That's
If I
that's
go
the
here,
$1,000,000 question. What's
yep.
the
So
Instagram and Facebook? Because
yeah, my
everybody
Facebook
changed
is
like
my name, Janine
okay.
Thomas. However, my Instagram, and y'all don't laugh out there, it says JT. Those are my initials, right? JT Loves, LOVES. And my husband's name is Dante. So it's DONTA _ free to be me. So FREETOBEME. So
Okay.
JT Loves Dante _ free to be me. That's my IG. I haven't
Well,
gotten on
that
those other platforms yet, but
right. No,
that's
it's
yeah,
yeah,
that's what
it's
I got.
definitely
So,
fine. And I'm so happy that you was able to join me today. Because like I said, my co-host is out. She's not feeling good. Just keep her in your prayers. But let me ask you a question because we got like a few more minutes. So our first show it's about grieving and healing through grief.
mhm,
And like I said, I lost my son and she lost her daughter. So we came up with this to be on this platform. Thank you, Trivia. But we had wrote a letter to our younger self. That
mhm,
was the assignment for the first show. So
mhm.
last week we didn't get a chance to talk about it. We had a good show last week as well.
Okay.
But this week I want to we were supposed to read our letters, but I'm so grateful that you came on and explained everything, healing, growth, and becoming.
Mm,
But let me ask you this. If you can write a letter to your younger self,
mm.
how would it start?
To my younger self. Whew, how would it start? You should have prepped me for this one.
I'm sorry.
Because no, it's fine. No, one of the things that I think about a lot, especially like I said, because I'm gonna be 52, is being able to actually take a look at your future self. So if
Mm,
I'm writing a letter to my younger self, it will be, "Hey Janine, how are you? Thanks for making the decisions that you made back when you were 20 and 30. Because
mm,
now at 50, I'm able to be able to whatever, right? But one of the main things that I would say if I'm writing it today to my
mm,
old self,
mm.
I would say save your money,
Yes,
because one day your money is going to need to save you.
yes.
And that's one of the things, because we give a financial education here.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I do my best to teach my children, but of course, children going to do whatever they want to do, right?
Of
But one
course.
of the things that we're talking to our children more about is save your money. This is the crazy thing, Tameka, and being 100% transparent here with this one. I always thought pay yourself was pay your today self. No,
Mm-hmm.
pay yourself is pay your future self. So if I'm talking to my younger Janine, I will be like, "Hey girl, you forgot to pay me." Why?
Mm,
Because nobody educated my younger self on
mm-hmm.
how to be able to pay the 52-year-old
Yes,
Janine. So
yes.
now the 52-year-old Janine, I'm saying 52 like I'm already there. I
It's
got 49
okay.
days,
It's
y'all. I'm counting
okay.
down, y'all. I got 49 days to the 52, right? But I would tell my younger self that the 52-year-old Janine needs pay to pay that 72-year-old Janine. And it starts today.
Mm,
Because that's
yes.
one of the things that people aren't thinking about. Retirement isn't about 65. Retirement
Mm-hmm.
is about how much money. So you always ask somebody, Tameka, what age do you want to retire? They're like,
Right.
now. Well, if you had enough money, you really could retire now, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
would definitely say, hey, Janine, that 18-year-old Janine. Don't blow that money like that, girl. Take that money and put some money up in a mutual fund versus in a savings, because we know the banks don't give us up. So I would want to have that money conversation with my younger self, and even with my younger ones that are here. And then at the end, because I don't think, and it's just me, I'm not like sitting up on a soapbox, but if I take a look at my life, I don't really have a lot of I wish I would have, should have, could have. So I would literally just say that's like one of the major things that I see that I wish I would have known, that whole pay yourself. Because I'm like, oh yeah, I'm paying myself, like enjoying life. And they talk about you only live once and all of that. But I would literally say, because think about it, y'all thing is healing, right? So healing through your finances and really being able to see the growth, right? So I'm just saying, it's just me. Tell your younger self, hey, don't forget about me, because I'm coming in 20, 30 years. Prepare for me, right? Because that's the part that people really don't think about. You know, we teach a lot of things to our children, because think about it, if nobody taught us, Tameka, how can we teach it to them?
It's a learned behavior. It's a learned behavior.
That's right. So now you said it earlier, because I know better, do better. So we're working to do better for my tomorrow self, because my yesterday self is gone. It's gone. I can't go back. I can't turn back. I wish it was a time portal that we can kind of go back and do some things differently. But the reality is that I can't. So that's one of the things that I would probably say to my younger self.
Yeah. That was good. That was really good. For me, like you said, I didn't even think about the money situation, because it was money head. It was I was working since I was 14.
Hello.
And it should have been money in the bank for me to sit on right now.
Think about
that's it.
Listen, I remember Dante this example a few times, and he talked about how many years have you worked. Let's think about how many years you worked. And let's think about all the money that came through our hands, right? However, if somebody could have set us down and had an actual money conversation, and today we can't say that we got $300, but we've worked all these years and made millions of dollars, but nobody really talked about where to put your money to pay your future self.
Or how to, like you said, how to save, because that wasn't never in the cards. Like I said, I've been working since I was 14. And I had my first child when I was 15 and my second when I was 16, but I've always had a job. So it wasn't like, oh, mommy, can you help help me pay this and help me pay that? No, I was always doing it myself. But it was at the same time, nobody even sat down and said, hey, if you put $100 out of each pay to the side, you'll be good. Or at least 50, you'll be good. I mean, back in the day when I was 14, I was making $4.75.
Come on, let's talk about it.
But
they have no clue these days.
No clue. None. No clue. $4.70. It probably was $4.25, maybe.
I
remember at Checkers and Burger King.
Hello. I remember
okay. Yeah,
now minimum wage, I believe, is maybe about
15 or 16. Yeah.
Listen,
our minimum wage wasn't nowhere near that. And it was looking back, it's like it was never, well, for me, I didn't see it a struggle. But now you grown and you looking like, golly, like gas, electric, all this stuff. And I'm only making this. Yeah, we was only making $4.25 then, and everything was still getting taken care of.
Everything. Come on.
Everything was being taken care of. Now it's just a whirlwind of stuff. But my two younger is London to be 16 and Dylan to be 13 this year. So for me to tell them, like, come on, y'all, save your money. I got them a savings account and stuff like that. But when it comes time for the kids to spend their own money, they look at you like you speaking foreign.
They don't want to do that. They want to spend your money.
My money.
They want to spend your money.
Right.
They be like, I don't have no money.
Right. But my daughter even have a savings account on Cash App. I didn't even know they had that. So she was like, let me transfer my from my savings to my. I'm like, girl, what? I didn't even know they had that. But
Exactly.
I'm happy that I'm able to educate them on being able to save money
Mm-hmm.
and do what they need to do far as college and stuff like that. And and I told them if y'all choose to do it, y'all, that's what y'all choose to do. But
Right.
I'm not forcing you to do nothing that you don't want to do, because I know a
Mhm.
lot of times parents force their kids to do stuff that they're not ready to do and they end up failing. So I don't want to do that. But I do want to educate them and let them know on the choices that they have,
Amen.
and yeah, how to better themselves. And I lost myself for 7 years, and I talk about it all the time, and I'm able to talk about it, and being able now to give myself grace.
Hmm.
I'm able to talk about it. But 7 years, I looking back, I'm like, I don't even understand, but God, how I'm standing here today,
There you
because
go.
I literally lost myself after Sean was murdered. But I'm happy that I can sit here today and talk to people and educate people about grief and how not to sit in it and to get
There you
help,
go. There
because
you go.
grief will tear you apart
Yep.
like no other.
Like
So
no
I
other.
definitely understand it. I my plans is to get a book, and I'm always giving out like notebooks and stuff like that if I have little stuff, because I believe that if you write it down and you go back and look at it, it'll be good. So my plan for today is that I'm going to write in my book. I want to start a funeral. I want to get in the business with the funeral home, because I want to be able to educate families on, like you said, the life insurance,
Hmm.
educate them and knowing the different stuff that they had, because I sat there and I signed, stuff without
Hmm.
reading it. And I'm quite sure a lot of families do that.
Absolutely.
So I want to be that one funeral home that be like, oh yeah, yeah, go to her, because she made sure that everything was straight. She went through this, she went through that, and that's what I want to be able to help families. Because I know a lot of funeral homes out here. They just, to me, I'm not knocking nobody, but it's a money thing, and it's sad. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's nobody out there that'll sit and educate you like you need to be educated.
Yep. So we have an agent that actually works at a funeral home. So I
Okay,
can definitely let you, kind of talk to her and see how things go, because she's worked at several.
okay,
So she kind of knows the in and out. That's actually
okay,
where we met her at.
okay.
But definitely can do the connection for the networking piece.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I appreciate that. And maybe we can
definitely can
talk,
do
and
that.
maybe she could come on here, because a lot of people just don't understand, like, tomorrow is not promised for nobody.
Absolutely.
It's not. And at the end of the day, we need to get life insurance. And I appreciate you for jumping in at the last minute, but this was powerful and
God be
educational,
the
and
glory.
it's
God be the
something that we all needed. Like,
glory.
we all needed it, because like I said, I know that I need to get it for my family. But it was just like I said, before it used to be like, okay, where do I sign? Because I know this is something that I need. And
Hmm.
I wasn't educated on certain things that was key today, that I definitely heard. And I definitely, can't wait to call you so I can start my policy for me and my family.
Yeah. Well, I definitely appreciate you and thank you for having me on. That was that one phone call real quick, like,
Yes.
hey, so, okay, like sure, like okay.
Yes,
But
but it was
definitely
needed. Yes,
thank you. I'm definitely honored. Anytime you need, anything from us, we're here to kind of
yes,
hop on, even if it's not in this direction, it can be on the ministry level or whatever it
yes,
is that you need.
yes.
Just give us a call and let us know. And we're here for the community.
Yes,
End of the
and
day.
definitely we go to church together. So if y'all don't if if y'all don't write our number down, well, it's going to be reposted. But if y'all
Okay.
don't write her number down, y'all can always ask me to so I can get in touch with her for y'all, because everybody needs life insurance.
Mhm.
Everybody needs life insurance. Everybody. That's the key thing. Everybody needs life insurance.
Yep.
If you don't think you need it, you do. Like you honestly do. I can't say it enough. And I really appreciate you for coming on. And I'm sorry for putting you on the spot about the letter, but
It's okay. It's okay. It's
it's
okay.
something that is like needed because to go back and think about, sit and think about everything that happened when you was younger versus now
Hmm.
is powerful. I don't know if people do that, but just to sit back and think how far you came, it's just like it's so powerful. It's so powerful.
It
Like
is.
really, it honestly is. For me, to sit back and look at the last 8 years and not think that I was going to be here and I'm sitting here today doing multiple things, helping families, wrote a book, 7 Years of Grace, a mother's journey through grief. And
Mm.
uh, the book itself, for me to just go back and look at it, even though I wrote it, it was just like blood, sweat, tears,
Right.
asking questions to my younger self, asking questions
Hmm.
to myself now. It's just like just to sit back and read it and just go through it and just being able to journal with everybody that already have the book. It's so powerful. It is. And the book is on Amazon and also I do have some on hand
Okay.
if anybody want to purchase the book. But
Okay.
I'm just so grateful that, to be around people that's telling the truth no
Tell the
matter
truth and
what.
shame the devil.
Yes, yes. I don't want nobody around me that's going to just say, I know you're going through something. So if you get this, it'll be okay. And it's not even, not even the truth. So I really honestly appreciate the truth.
Yeah. No, I tell you that going through the process with my dad in 2015, God gave me a peace. And it's crazy. I mean, I know what the peace is now, didn't fully know
Mm-hmm.
then, but it's
Mm-hmm.
truly the peace that surpasses all understanding. And whenever I think about him, whenever I got down in those moments of like I can visually see back in 2015 when I was wake up in the morning, I'm screaming to the top of my lungs, and Dante would come and hug me, and then he would be like, something funny. He make me laugh. And then literally I
Mm-hmm.
would pop out of it with a laugh. And that's one of the things where I don't stay stuck in the moments. Because do I think about mom and dad? Yes. Do I think about my nephew? Yes. Do I think about my other loved ones? Yes. But however, I don't stay stuck in those moments. I
Mm-hmm.
think about something funny that'll literally take me out so that I'm not sad that now I'm laughing. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not that I'm forgetting them. I'm just dealing with it a little differently because I don't want to stay mentally in that place because I know it where it can take me. It can get you
Yeah.
stuck. And at
Yeah.
the end of the day, I'm in control of the way I feel. And I don't want to feel like that. And I know they
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't want me to feel like that. So
Right.
definitely, you everybody has their own process in grieving, and you got to be able to know what's going to get you through
Yeah.
at the end of the
Yeah.
day. And people always, I know how you feel. No, I probably don't know how that feel.
Yeah.
However, what I
No.
can tell you is that there is joy in the morning. I can tell you that
Yeah.
part because I can watch my sister. I have two girlfriends that lost their kids at young ages, three actually,
Mm-hmm.
that lost their kids at young ages. So I've seen them, I've seen their growth, and I've seen how they, kind of got out of it. And literally,
Yes.
you just gotta have people there for you, people there in your corner,
Yeah.
people that won't let you
Mm-hmm.
stay stuck. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That'll pray with you and talk you through
Mm-hmm.
it and laugh you through it
Yeah.
at the end of the day. So yeah. But
It's
definitely I
definitely
want to
different.
definitely talk offline and get the information about how this will be reposted and
Yeah.
how to be able to buy the book. I want to share it with my teammates and everything because you just never know how you can impact people that I know that don't know you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, I got a lot of good feedback from the book, people reading it, and they was like, I had to just sit it down for a second because I thought in my mind that I got over that.
Mm-hmm.
But then now reading this, it came back up. Like I thought I was healed from that, and I'm not
Yeah.
healed from it. And that's why I said
Mm-hmm.
me looking at the book myself, it's just like, wow, like you wrote that? Like that was some powerful stuff. But it definitely, like I said, it definitely helped me to be able to write the book. I was stuck for 2 years. Like I literally was stuck for 2 whole years. And I wasn't ready to sit in my grief And that's why the book is 7 Years of Grace, because last year I was able to sit in my grief. I wasn't ready. I knew Sean was gone. It wasn't like I was trying to hold on to the fact or think that he was still alive. It was just like I was not ready.
Yeah.
And you can't force nobody to be ready to sit in their grief. They have to do it themselves. Just
Yep.
like if they was alcoholics or drug users, you can't force them to go into treatment because
Nope.
it's not going to work.
Right.
So you have to sit in it and do it for yourself, and then ask for help afterwards. And that was my biggest thing. I didn't like asking for help. I didn't want nobody to feel like they had to be around me all the time or walk on eggshells around me all the time. So that was my biggest thing. And I used to be the one that's screaming the loudest, I don't want no new friends. I don't need no new friends. But now I'm like, well, where they at? Because I need all the new people around me that's going to
That's
support me,
right.
that's going to push me, that's going to help me grow.
That
I don't
part.
want to be sitting there comfortable. I want to be able to grow. And if
Right.
you're not growing with me, or you not being around me to push me towards my growth, my growth, I don't want to be around it. I
Yep.
don't.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Whew.
so I really appreciate this. This was really, really a good segment. We're gonna pray for Tabitha. Thank you, Trivia, for allowing us to be on your platform, Trivia Inspiration platform. And this will be posted live. I'll send you the footage so that you'll be
Okay.
able to post it.
Okay.
And also her phone number is going across the screen. And she also said that she will talk to y'all, even look over y'all policy with y'all to make sure that y'all getting the better policy for your family. So that's a blessing right there.
Yeah.
But I definitely will be calling to set up my family life insurance, because I know how important it is to make sure that nobody acts or have to do a GoFundMe at the end of the day, because life is really short,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
we need to definitely make sure that we take care of, like you said, our kids, our loved ones that we might have to leave behind at some point in time. Because,
Yep.
and just to be dealing with grief and dealing with trying to figure out how to pay for a funeral is crazy.
Yep.
It's
Because we
crazy.
know our birth date, but we don't know our death date.
Yes, yes.
Yep.
That's good, and that's educational. Because, like I said before, people would say stuff like that, and I'd be looking at them like, I don't want to talk about that right now. I don't want to hear about that right now.
Yeah.
But in
Yep.
reality, you have to. You
You
have to
have
sit
to.
and talk about it. You have to talk about it. You have
Yep.
to. And I really appreciate you for
Yes.
hopping on at
Thank
the
you
last minute.
again.
But
Thank you guys
it
again.
definitely was powerful, and I appreciate you coming on. And my viewers, if y'all can send me um y'all letters, if y'all want to come on with us and read y'all letters, let me know. My letter was definitely a little said, I can say, because looking back, it was just like, hey, you dealt with all of that, and like you're still here, you're still pushing.
To God be.
A lot of people would have lost their mind over a lot of stuff that I've been through, and I was able to handle it through grace and still be here to talk about it.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I appreciate you, and I'll send you the information on you how you can repost it, and
Okay.
I'll definitely put your information on like when we repost it, put your information on there on how people can get in touch with you to get life insurance, and to actually talk to you about whatever they need to talk about on
Yep.
whichever thing that they need, whether they need whole or term. I'm quite sure that you'll be able to handle that for
I
them.
surely will. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Thank you so
Thank you
much. I
guys.
appreciate you for
All right.
coming
You're
on.
welcome. Yeah.
Thank
Have
you.
a good one. All right. Talk.
Trivia's Inspirational Radio would like to inform you that the views, thoughts, and opinions expressed in the following show are solely the sentiments of the participants of the show. Trivia's Inspirational Radio Network is not responsible for content. As always, thanks for watching. and enjoy the show.